We got a lot of calls and questions about whether or not we were going to have market this weekend, and everyone seems just very grateful.
A Saturday staple at Portland State University forced to adjust today following a chaotic week on campus. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm John Adams. The Portland Farmers Market at PSU went on as scheduled today, but with a modified layout. They moved the market 1 block north from where it usually is, away from the campus library. This comes after a group of protesters occupied the building for several days and caused extensive damage. The executive director of the farmers market says now is as good a time as ever to visit and support local vendors who rely on this event.
During times when everyone's having to adapt and do something a little bit different, it's a really good time to come out and show your support.
She says they hope to return to their regular space next week. The PSU library is still evaluating things following the protest and occupation. Students return to class on Friday, but the library will stay closed for at least the next few months while crews clean and make necessary repairs. Police cleared the building twice on Thursday and arrested a total of 30 people. Students we spoke to yesterday say they support the protests, but not the vandalism.
It felt honestly counterintuitive to the movement as a whole.
I mean, I think protests are positive. I think it's something that should happen. The sad thing is I don't think the destruction is necessary.
It was definitely troublesome, to say the least.
Here's a closer look at that destruction. Portland State President Ann Cudd expressed her disappointment Friday and called the library as it stands, quote, unusable. The library team is working to get remote services up and running and set up alternative study spaces. President Cudd also says she expects protests over the war in Gaza to continue on campus and says she supports that as long as protesters do not harass students or trespass and cause damage. In California, crews have cleaned up the pro-Palestinian encampment at UCLA. Heavy equipment was moved onto the school's campus Thursday morning following that week-long protest. Protesters were given a dismissal notice on Wednesday after authorities declared the encampment an unlawful assembly and ordered demonstrators to leave the area. After a lengthy standoff with protesters refusing to leave, officers in riot gear advanced on the encampment. More than 200 people were arrested during the process. And near the East Coast, police in riot gear have begun moving in on a pro-Palestinian encampment at the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. Earlier in the day, protesters started setting up tents, but campus police officially declared it an unlawful assembly. Just before 3 this afternoon, authorities gave protesters a final warning to leave or they would be removed by officers. Now to the latest in the Middle East. A senior Biden administration official says a deal with Hamas for a temporary ceasefire and hostage release is likely not happening today, but is close. A delegation from Hamas has arrived in Cairo, and Egyptian media is reporting noticeable progress in ceasefire talks. An Israeli official says under no circumstances will Israel agree to an end of the war as part of a deal to release hostages. Well, turning now to your local weather, it's been a rainy Saturday afternoon across the Portland metro area. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us now. Joe, are we going to see this rain move out anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. It's going to be with us tonight, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, and then heading in the middle part of next week, John, things will really start to improve. And this time next weekend, we're going to be basking in some very summer-like weather. I'll talk more about that in detail in a few minutes. But here's what we're going to be seeing out there along the Oregon coast tonight. Just more rain showers, and some of the rainfall amounts are pretty impressive up and down the Oregon coast and really here locally throughout the metro area where, we've seen close to over a half of an inch of rain throughout the valley here since midnight. And here's a live look from the reserve out in Aloha. Temperature of 50 degrees. These showers are going to continue the rest of the evening. As we take a look at the mountains, they've been seeing a good amount of snow showers here the last couple of hours. You have that winter weather advisory that's going to be in place until the end of tomorrow at 4,000 feet and higher. But these greens and some of these yellows is what's going to continue heading into your Saturday night and into your overnight hours as well. Look at the amounts so far. Over 0.8 of an inch of rain throughout parts of Hillsborough, closing in on that over in southwest Washington. Along the Oregon coast down in Brookings, you're closing in on an inch. I bet you in the next couple of hours you will go over an inch for the day so far. And more rain is in the forecast. But again, things will be improving here in the next 5 to 7 days. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. New tonight. Portland police are investigating a deadly shooting that left a man dead. Officers were called to the Wilkes neighborhood at 5 this morning. They arrived to find the victim in the street near the intersection of Northeast Beach and 157th Avenue. Paramedics determined the man died at the scene. The suspect or suspects left before officers got there. Portland police arrested a driver involved in a crash early this morning that left a man with life-threatening injuries. Officers were called to Northeast Halsey and 92nd Avenue just after 2 a.m. Investigators believe 23-year-old Nicole Land was driving impaired when she hit a pedestrian. She's been booked on DUI, second-degree assault, and reckless driving charges. The crash is still under investigation. A traffic alert out of the Mount Hood area. Highway 26 is closed between the Warm Springs Junction and Warm Springs exit due to a crash. There are detours in place. ODOT says to expect an extended closure in this area. A local veteran is taking center stage as he's honored in a national campaign for his bravery. Our Sydney Dorner sat down with the lieutenant as he recalled his time in Vietnam and how he even helped save the life of a fellow pilot. Sydney.
John, Bill Moyer, also known as the Offender, got his nickname as a Vietnam veteran for good reason. Originally from Wilsonville, Moyer was a young Navy pilot flying dangerous missions. Now, 50 years later, he's in a national commercial showing how he wouldn't have made it out without his comrades.
When we first came back to Portland, nobody talked about Vietnam. Wasn't popular, and I don't think veterans were treated particularly well.
50 years after the Vietnam War, Bill Moyer says the attitude towards veterans like himself has changed tremendously.
Nowadays, we hear things like, "Thank you for your service," and it's appreciated. I didn't hear that for 30 years.
Moyer is receiving more than just gratitude. Now featured in a national Comcast ad campaign with his fellow pilots, highlighting the high-pressure times and how they depended on one another.
Jim Lloyd, who is one of the three of us that did this work for Comcast, he was shot down in North Vietnam, and we got him out. And he was the only over North Vietnam rescue, I think, in 10 years.
Shooting the commercial didn't feel like work at all for the three pilots, who were part of the Gunslingers Squadron on the USS Saratoga.
For us, we had basically a reunion for a week.
The Today Show aired a portion of the commercial to mark the start of Military Appreciation Month. Moyer says this full circle moment reminds him of how serving completely changed the course of his life.
It was hugely important. It impacted everything I've done since.
Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
I feel like it was by the grace of God that I saw him.
Coming up at 5, a family is now breathing a sigh of relief and how one mother's instincts helped find a missing boy. And it's match day for the Portland Thorns. Ahead of kickoff, Orlando recaps the season so far and why they badly need a win tonight. Stay tuned. National headlines. A large tornado was captured on video as it touched down near Holly, Texas. The twister was on the ground for some time as it made its way across the countryside, a short distance from Abilene. Officials say 6 homes were heavily damaged in the area, with at least 2 people suffering injuries. The extent of those injuries are not yet known. One truck driver reported baseball-sized hail along with the tornado. A California man has been charged with threatening Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis. The 66-year-old made his first court appearance on Friday after being indicted in late April. He now faces charges in Atlanta of threatening DA Willis. Willis is leading the prosecution of former President Donald Trump and several of his associates, all of whom have been accused of seeking to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. Court documents show the man repeatedly posted comments on YouTube live stream videos that threatened Willis with violence. The United States economy added 175,000 new jobs in April. That's fewer than expected. The Dow Jones estimated that about 240,000 jobs would be added last month. The Labor Department also said Friday that the unemployment rate actually ticked up from 3.8 to 3.9%. Today's report lifted hopes that the Federal Reserve would now be able to cut interest rates in the coming months. Huge relief for the family of a missing 5-year-old. The boy disappeared on Thursday but was found Friday, and a suspected kidnapper is behind bars. Our Catherine Cook spoke with a woman who found him, who says it was her instincts as a mom that told her something didn't seem right.
I feel like it was by the grace of God that I saw him.
Cheyenne Stallsworth was heading to work Friday morning when she saw the little boy, the 5-year-old, missing since Thursday evening. Portland police had put out an alert that night, and Cheyenne saw it. The alert included this photo. It shows the boy with a strange woman on a TriMet bus. Cheyenne says when she spotted them, the woman was pulling the boy in a wagon near Southeast 151st and Mill.
And I seen the little boy while she was bent over. He turned his head like looking like, where am I kind of thing. Like he looked shaken up.
Cheyenne called police, hoping her hunch would pay off. Investigators say after the boy disappeared Thursday, witnesses first spotted him and the woman near this gas station on Southeast 148th and Division. Several other nearby sightings followed, included 2 on TriMet buses. Police identified the woman as 31-year-old Leanne Osborne. When they responded to Cheyenne's call Friday morning, officers rescued the boy and arrested Osborne on second-degree kidnapping. Then they called Cheyenne to tell her the good news.
I was teary-eyed when they called me. I was at work, like, my boss was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine."
Cheyenne thinks of her own young child and how searching for her would feel.
There would be no sleep.
She's grateful for the sleep she lost, thinking of the little boy and his face that stayed in her mind for a reason.
I will sleep good knowing that he's safe now.
Police say other than the suspect frequenting the area and occasionally seeing the boy outside his home, they haven't found a connection between them. The case is ongoing. Up next in sports, one local basketball player's professional career is about to kick off. Orlando has a preview of that debut coming up next.
Is good, everyone. The Portland Timbers have been one of the most exciting teams to watch in Major League Soccer, unless you're a Timbers fan. Despite being one of the most potent offenses in the league, the defense hasn't held up its end of the bargain. The result, 0 wins in nearly 2 months. The Timbers trying to snap a 7-match winless streak. They're on the pitch right now at Charlotte FC. It is scoreless in the first half. It's their first ever meeting. Portland playing without Diego Chara due to yellow card accumulation. Evander also out. You know we'll break it down for you right here at 11 o'clock. It is match day for the Portland Thorns under the Saturday night lights of Providence Park. They'll play host to the Washington Spirit, one of the top teams in the NWSL. And while the Thorns might be the hottest team in the league, they have turned this season around in a hurry. After the worst start in franchise history, winless in their first 4 matches, the Thorns have reeled off 3 straight wins under interim head coach Rob Gale. Sophia Smith leading the league with 7 goals. Tonight's matchup kicks off at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on ION. We'll have the goods for you right here at 11. Oh, it's about to get real for Beaverton's Cameron Brink. Her professional career begins tonight. The 2nd overall pick in the WNBA draft will make her debut tonight with the LA Sparks in a preseason matchup against the Seattle Storm. The game is being played north of the border in Edmonton. Tip-off set for 6:30. You can watch for free on the WNBA app. Oregon Duck Center N'Faly Dante is among 78 players to earn an invitation to the NBA Draft Combine. He's the only Ducks player to get the invite. The Combine runs from May 12th through the 19th in Chicago. Dante averaged about 17 points and 9 rebounds last season with the Ducks. He's hoping it's not his last season at Oregon. According to the Oregonian, Dante is trying to get a medical hardship waiver from the NCAA for an additional year of eligibility.
And Mystic Dan is now come through on the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16th. Forever Young, Sierra Leone is coming. These 3 coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's the photo of the Derby.
In one of the closest finish in the history of the Triple Crown, the 150th edition of the Kentucky Derby was a photo finish. And by a nose, check it out. That is the finish. Mystic Dan wins the race, beating out Sierra Leone and Forever Young by the slimmest of margins. With 18-1 odds, Mystic Dan and jockey Brian Hernandez Jr. won the mile and a quarter race in a time of 2:03.34 in front of more than 156,000 spectators who were all waiting around several minutes waiting to see who the winner was. Just epic stuff, and you saw it right here on KGW.
And we were all yelling in the newsroom. Watching that finish. Unbelievable. Good luck to the Thorns tonight, of course. It could be a soggy night for folks coming out.
You know, we just in the Goose Hollow neighborhood where the studio is at, we've seen just about an inch of rain since yesterday, and we're going to go well over that here over the next couple of hours because the rain showers, you guys, are going to continue. So if you're going to be checking out the game or just being out and about, get ready for some wet weather. You travel over the mountain passes, it's going to be looking more like winter, but we're going to be seeing a couple of different seasons, if you will, over the next week. It's going to be spring, obviously, here, winter up in the mountains in the next couple of days. By the end of the next week, we're looking at some summer conditions with temperatures closing in on close to 90 degrees. So we have that pretty strong upper level low that's just been bringing in steady rain since last night. That will continue the rest of this evening. A little bit of some dry windows, though, heading into tomorrow. When that is, I'm expecting basically between 10 and noon. That's a little bit of the 2-hour window tomorrow that'll be more dry than wet, but not by much. But temperature-wise, starting things off tomorrow morning, mid-40s. By 10 o'clock, we'll be a little bit drier, temperature of 48 degrees. Showers start to move back into the picture heading into the early part of the afternoon, topping out with temperatures tomorrow only in the low 50s, feeling more like almost winter than spring. We should be seeing highs close to 67 on average for early May. Currently, we're seeing a temperature of 51 degrees over in Newport along the central Oregon coast. Winds are relatively light, and yeah, that's pretty much your picture for the day. You can see those wet conditions out there. 52 degrees with some rain showers, and highs will gradually warm up. So tomorrow and Monday, low 50s, a little bit nicer for Tuesday, but still those showers will be in the picture heading into Tuesday. Dry for Wednesday, and there it is. Thursday, we'll start things off with our temperature of 75. It gets a little bit warmer heading into next weekend. I want to bring in the Futurecast. So here we are tonight. Again, we're going to be looking at just nothing but green on the radar pretty much the rest of your Saturday night. Meanwhile, over the mountain passes, you're going to be seeing nothing but white. Those snow showers continue basically at 3,500 feet and higher. In fact, a winter weather advisory will be in play until the end of tomorrow night. So if you're traveling over there, be ready for some winter driving conditions. And here we are going into Monday. Those showers continue, and it will be numerous showers. Maybe some thunderstorms develop, and expect to see more of that kind of same forecast heading into Tuesday and into Tuesday night. But Wednesday will be a little bit more dry than wet. And if you're thinking, are there going to be any chances for some dry conditions? We got about a 90% chance of rain here heading into tonight. It drops a little bit by about 60% 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's that window I was telling you about. Basically, let's call it 9 a.m. to about 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So a little bit of some dry opportunity for you, but that is about it. We topped out with temperatures in the mid 50s, and your beach forecast tomorrow is going to be in the low 50s with those scattered showers carrying over a good part of tomorrow. Again, daytime highs tomorrow will be running on the cooler side, right around the low to mid 50s if we're lucky. And then traveling over the mountain passes, you're going to be seeing some good amount of snow showers. And here's a live look from Timberline Lodge where you've seen a couple of inches of snow so far. Well, this model is showing by the end of the weekend, we could be closing in on close to a foot of snow by the end of tomorrow night. Absolutely wild for the early part of May. Rain showers for tomorrow, rain likely Monday and Tuesday, 62 degrees on Wednesday. And John, that's no mistake, my man. We are looking at temperatures close to 90 degrees a week from today. And Mother's Day, I know all the moms are wondering, what about my day? Don't worry, ladies. You're going to be seeing temperatures close to the mid-80s heading into your special day. Again, that's a week out, so we'll see what happens. But again, a lot of models are in agreement to see a bit of a warm-up heading in as soon as Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I saw that 87 had to squint a couple of times, and I was wondering if Joe's computer may have malfunctioned.
No, that's
but
right
no,
on.
It is true. All right, Joe, thank you. We'll be right back.
That's what I heard. I didn't know one was still on the loose, so I hope that they catch it soon.
And they did. Late last night, we got word that the last escaped zebra that was still on the run in Washington has been caught. Animal Services in King County got this video of them corralling the mare named Sugar near the Riverbend neighborhood in North Bend. This all started last Sunday when 4 zebras on their way to Montana escaped their trailer while the driver had stopped. 3 were quickly recaptured, but Sugar, or Shug, was on the loose for the last 6 days. Animal Services now says Shug is on her way to rejoin the other zebras in Montana. I'm sure they have a lot of stories to tell. We're going to leave you with a look from our Dalles Skycam. Rainy out there tonight. Don't forget, Timbers and Thorns highlights coming your way tonight at 11.